I couldn't beat myself, that's when I said, nah. I looked at my old pictures and I realized when I was about 54 that I wasn't willing to do what it was to train hard enough to beat what I was the year before. Did you catch that? I used the word training, yeah. Well, hi, I'm John Hart. Welcome back to Official John Hart. Training or exercising, okay? That's the question today. Are you training or are you exercising? And I have to get into it because, often we look at these videos, from other YouTubers talking about training, and they'll jump the fence quite often. And we also see it in the comment section of those videos where commenters are jumping the fence quite often. It's causing a lot of confusion because one person may be talking about training, the other one may be talking about exercising. And quite often, here I am using the quite often phrase again, in my own comment section, I see a lot of my subscribers as well as commenters commenting on their exercise program or on their workouts or on their training. And there is a difference. That's the thing I'm getting at. Just to give you a little quick, refresher, I have been in bodybuilding for my entire adult life. Started when I was 17 or 18, and I've been doing it since, all the way through. I'm now 60, about to turn 61. And I've been involved in competition. I competed from age 18 all the way to 53. Won the Mr. America. I'm the oldest Mr. America of all time. I won the overall title, the oldest one to do it, at age 48, 5 months and 24 days. And then I also won the Natural Mr. Universe. Competed as a natural pro bodybuilder, and then wrapped up a career around 53-ish, 54. And I always stood on, the premise that I would compete as long as I enjoyed it, and I was able to beat myself from the year before. So I wasn't competing anymore to beat other people, but to beat myself from the year before, which usually meant I would place pretty well or win a show or do whatever. So it was very satisfying, in other words. But when I couldn't beat myself, that's when I said, nah. I looked at my old pictures and I realized when I was about 54 that I wasn't willing to do what it was to train hard enough to beat what I was the year before. Did you catch that? I use the word training, yes, because training involves a whole other focus than exercising, okay? Exercising is something that we do to maintain our structures, to maintain our health, to maintain a great feel in our existence, okay? That's exercising. People exercise so that they can go to their doctor every half year or every year and get a good report from their doctor. Okay, because all their systems are running well. They're maintaining a great level of health. That's exercise. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? It usually doesn't involve much in the way of making more progress. So I'm going to associate the term training with making progress, all right? So if you're training, like I said, I wasn't willing to train for what it would take for me to beat myself from the year before on stage at 54, to beat my 53-year-old self. So I just kind of realized, all right, I'm going to move on into my next stage in life, which is I shifted a whole bunch of my bodybuilding mentality to my business. And I continue to train. I enjoy training. And notice the words I just used without even thinking about it, training. And that's because I always have goals. Even when I go to the gym or even in my look overall, I always have goals. So training involves goals and achieving goals. If you're of that mind and that mindset, then you're training, okay? And you'll go to the gym with a mindset of, I want to progress. I want to be better than I was last week, last month, last year. In some way, shape, or form. And so how do we shift those goals? If you can't beat your physique from last year or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, can you beat it in some ways? And there's the exciting part. You can. I took, great joy in shifting my training to a point where I started saying, well, I want more traps, or I want more biceps. And so I would take a body part and make an improvement on it in the course of 6 months or a year. And, with many years to go, because I plan on being around, the training wasn't so devastating to the point where I was taking chances all over my body because in the name of a contest coming up. There we go. That's the best way to put it. So if I set a goal and something happens during my season of training to achieve that goal, at this point, it's not a do or die or a do or injure myself effort. I will back off and say, all right, in the name of the long term, I'm going to have at it again. Later on, I'll back off now and have at it again. So if stress hits, that's what I do. And that's the wisdom call here, okay, is that you can't have your pedal to the metal 24/7. You have to choose a season to do that with. And that's what I've taught for 41 years to all of my clients, as well as you guys right here on YouTube, as well as in my training community. By the way, a little shameless plug for my training community. Come and join us in the training community. I'll leave a link to my left or down below in the video description of this video, okay? The training community. So we discuss things like setting annual goals, achieving various training cycles, using various training modes to make it through your year to achieve your goals in your training. And notice all of that is pretty hardcore. I'm not talking about exercising, all right? There are some people who gain simple satisfaction from exercising, feeling good. I'm not addressing you right now. I'm talking about those who do want to achieve some kind of a goal, that do want to get stronger, that do want to increase their lean muscle mass, that do want to, be able to go and achieve all of their daily activities with much greater ease. That's it too, right there. And then I'm also talking to the ones that, quite simply, you want to look like a bodybuilder and have a bodybuilder physique, grow new muscle, right? At any age, whatever your age is. So that will take some specialized training. And you're going to have to raise the intensity of your workouts to such a level that you make your muscle mass a little uncomfortable, make your system uncomfortable with its existing muscle mass because you stressed it that much. You made it uncomfortable. It will have to adapt because of the uncomfortability you've created by your training. So, take a look at your training right now. Consider, come on, join my training community. Come on in, join that. Get a few of my books, okay? I have several books that I've written on training and how to adapt your training to a whole new intensity level to increase your lean muscle mass. At the very least, go on and get my John Hart AI 25. That's out there right now. That link will be down below also in the video description. So yeah, I'm throwing a few shameless plugs out there, but it's relevant because what I'm talking about right now is you making a decision in your training, in your workouts, let's say, in your workouts. I don't want to lean you one way, which is my way with training, but it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, getting into your workouts a little bit more intensely. I would encourage you to do it at any age. I very much lean towards the training edge because I do know how valuable having more lean muscle mass is no matter what your age. Having more is always better. And having more naturally is always better as well. So, that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Off to my left, you're going to see the subscribe button pop up any moment now. And then down below and off to your left, you're going to see that thumbs up button. Please give that thing a tap and change colors on it. That will light up the YouTube algorithm, and it lights me up too. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.